by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
Some good news for those hoping to get into the housing market. Mortgage rates have now dropped below 6%.
Mortgage buyer Freddie Mac says the average rate dropped this week to 5.98%. That's its lowest level since September 2022. The average rate has been hovering around 6% this year, reflecting a pullback in the long-term bond yields that lenders use as a guide to pricing home loans. The latest decline in rates comes as the spring home buying season gets rolling. I'm Alex Vega.
The worst day for NVIDIA stock since last spring drug the U.S. market lower, even though most stocks were rising today. Such blowout performances have become typical for the AI chip company, and its stock fell toward its worst day since April. At the close on Wall Street, the Dow was up by 17 points, the S&P 500 down 37, and NASDAQ lost 273. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
News and analysis at townhall.com.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Showers throughout the evening, the low temperature dropping to 55. Tomorrow, heavy rain in the morning before things start to clear out later in the day. The high is 61. The weekend looking great. Saturday, sunshine and 67, while on Sunday, gorgeous. A sunshine-filled sky, 76 degrees. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point. This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
All righty, welcome in, everybody. It is Sports Talk, big Thursday night edition coming to you from our studios in Columbia. Phil Kornblut and the Plumber. Josh Cohen with you. Chris Bergen off with the Coastal Carolina basketball team the rest of the week. You know what it is now. You know what it is. It's the Palmetto Series. It's the base brawl for it all, as I like to call it. South Carolina, Clemson, South Carolina. Greatest baseball rivalry in the country, about to commence for a hopefully weather-free, beautiful 3-game weekend series. 2 games in Columbia, Founders Park, Segra Park, then up to Doug Kingsmore on Sunday. Going to get things rolling right off the top of the show. We welcome in South Carolina head baseball coach Paul Mainieri to Sports Talk once again. We had Coach Bakich with us last night, and tonight we have Coach Mainieri to preview the big weekend. And, Coach, welcome in. Good to have you with us.
It's good to be with you, Phil. Hope you all are doing well.
We are. All right, what's your weather forecast for tomorrow night? What you got?
Well, they're saying that this rain that's been all day, and I guess it's going to continue into the night, but it's supposed to be gone by early afternoon tomorrow. So we got to get all those Gamecock fans out there to Founders Park to root on our team, okay?
Absolutely. Hey, home field advantage, crowd involvement, emotion in the park, that's a big part of this series. I know last year you got swept, but they were 3 tight games, your first time facing the Tigers like that. What do you recall about first time going head-to-head against Clemson in that setting?
Great environment everywhere that we played. We played, at Clemson the first game, and then we played in Greenville at the minor league park, and then of course on Sunday at Founders. And they were all three really good ball games, tight, and weren't decided until the last couple innings. We were a little bit short on our relief course, so to speak, last year. I think we're going to be much stronger at the end of games this year. So hopefully we can put ourselves in position and be able to close them out at the end.
You have made a change to your rotation compared to what you did the first couple of weekends of the season. You're going to go with Josh Gunther as your starter tomorrow night, then Amp Phillips, and then Riley Goodman will get the call on Sunday. What's the thinking there?
Well, the thinking is, Riley just doesn't have a lot of experience yet. I think he's going to be outstanding. But, last Friday night, or Friday afternoon when we played Army, I just thought he was a little out of sorts. And, it's a lot of pressure to put on a kid that game one of a weekend, because if he doesn't get you a little bit deep into the games, it just puts a strain on your bullpen the rest of the weekend. And I think Riley just needs to, kind of get out of that Friday slot. He probably was not going to be in the Friday slot until Jake McCoy and Alex Philpott got hurt. And so he kind of vaulted probably from the Sunday starter or even maybe the Tuesday starter into the Friday slot. And I did that based on his talent. He's got a really good arm, and I think he's going to be great and become a dominant pitcher. But, I just think for this Clemson series, to give him the ball on Friday night would have been asking a lot for a young kid with no experience. Whereas Josh Gunther, I thought coming out of fall practice and even in the preseason, I felt Josh was probably one of our top 2 or 3 pitchers on the team. And the reason he left Wake Forest, he was a dominant, relief pitcher there, but he wanted to try to be an extended pitcher, a starting pitcher or longer outings. And he didn't do anything to not win a job as a starting pitcher through the fall and early spring. And I just feel like he's kind of made for this setting, a high emotional, pressure-packed night. He'll be fearless out there, and he's got experience of pitching against Clemson. He pitched there, when he was with Wake Forest, and he did well against Clemson. So I just think he's got the best chance of getting us off to a good start for the weekend.
What's the best part of his arsenal?
Well, he actually has quite an arsenal. He throws about 4 or 5 different pitches, and he's pretty good command of all of them. And so he's gonna mix his pitches, and he's gonna throw a lot of strikes, and he's gonna be a real competitor out there on the mound. So I'd be really surprised if he doesn't pitch well for us tomorrow.
Tough loss last night at home. You've got 3 losses at this stage. Last year you were undefeated. Yet that didn't make any difference. You lost the series to Clemson. You got swept. This time you got 3 losses in your first 9 games. And baseball's the next day game. You know that as well as anybody. It's all about what happens the next day. So I know folks are a little antsy about the 6-3 record and those 3 losses. How do you calm their nerves in looking forward to this weekend and kind of encourage the Gamecock fans that everything is going to be okay?
Well, we got to go out there and earn their respect. That's all. I don't like ever losing a game, but sometimes these midweek games are not a telltale sign of what kind of team you have, because you're using different pitchers than you would use on the weekend. And, listen, all you had to do is look around the country. On Tuesday night, LSU lost to McNeese, Arkansas lost to Arkansas State, Georgia lost to Troy. I mean, it happens a lot in those midweek games like that. Last year we didn't lose any of the midweek games. I think the only midweek game we lost was up in Charlotte against North Carolina, and we had a very poor season. So, it's not indicative of the quality of your team. And quite frankly, Phil, even though we've lost 3 games, and like I said, I don't ever like to lose games, but I actually feel better about our team being 6-3 this year than I did with our team being undefeated last year going into this weekend series, because I do think that our pitching will be deeper and our starting pitching is going to be solid. I think our bullpen's going to be deeper. And when we get everybody swinging the bats like they're capable of doing, I think we'll be a decent offensive team. it's amazing because we seem to struggle against, I don't know how to say this in a nice way, but the guys that don't throw real hard or, are not the top pitchers, we seem to struggle against those guys more than we do the guys that throw in the 90s and they have other pitches and so forth. I don't know if it's the guys let up or the other team just gets the momentum going and we start to press or whatever. But, last night we got off to a bad start. We were down, I think, 6-1 in the second inning or something. And, and then we start hitting balls really hard, but they're right at them or they're making great plays behind their pitcher, or we're hitting balls to the wall that you think might have a chance to go out, but the guy catches it up against the wall. So, unfortunately, in 4 decades of coaching, I've seen it happen before. So I try not to hit the panic button, as the leader of the program, because I do think we have a good team, and hopefully we'll go out and prove it this weekend.
Talking with Coach Palmineri, South Carolina baseball coach, Will Craddock, now that he's playing, he's off to a great start. Talmadge LeCroy's been outstanding for you from the beginning, as has KJ Scobie. So you got 3 guys right there swinging very hot bats. I know you want to see that kind of transition throughout your lineup, but what about those 3 in particular, and are they kind of good enough to carry this team through a series like this?
Well, all 3 of them have been great. There's no question about that, but we need more than 3 guys. That's why you have a 9-man lineup. And, Tyler Bach had some really big hits early in the year for us. Then he went through a real struggle for 4 or 5 games, but then last night he got 3 hits, including a home run. I think Aaron Jamison is going to give us a spark. Some of the other guys, Bo Holland seems to be heating up now. He got off to a rough start, but he hit 4 balls right on the screws last night, so that was a good sign for us. We need to get our third baseman hitting, and a few other guys, but overall, I just think that, as the season goes on and these guys settle into playing at South Carolina, I think they're going to show that they have the talent to hit here.
You'll see Aiden Canuck tomorrow night, one of the best pitchers in the country. He has no record, but he also hasn't allowed an earned run so far. What do you remember about him from last year? And looking at him on tape so far this year, how does he compare from what you recall?
Well, he's a really good pitcher, as you mentioned, one of the best in the country. His real great pitch is his changeup. He throws it a lot. And he's got enough fastballs that you just can't sit on his changeup. But, when he gets in a jam, his changeup is the pitch that he always goes to. So we're going to have to really make an adjustment on that. He pitched well against us last year, but I think when he left the game, it was maybe 2-2 or something like that in the 5th or 6th inning. So, we're looking forward to the challenge, and hopefully it'll bring out the best in us.
Their pitching has been really good. Now, we had Coach Bakich on with us last night, and he said, hey, don't pay any attention to those numbers. This is a whole new season going into the South Carolina weekend. But, it's hard to ignore when you look at an offense that's hitting .332 and a pitching staff with a 143.
Well, it is hard to ignore that. And, today I had a press conference, Phil, and somebody asked me, what surprised you most when you looked at Clemson? And I said, if you look at their stat sheet, their offensive stats, they've only got 10 names on the stat sheet. So Eric pretty much plays the same group of guys every game. He hasn't even used pinch hitters, pinch runners, nothing. There's only 10 names on the stat sheet, whereas we have maybe 16 or 17. So I'm a little jealous of that. If you felt like you had a really good starting 9 and you went with them every day, that's the best way to do it. But we're still trying to learn our players' strengths and limitations and so forth. What most everybody except for Talmadge and Hollins and Scobie are all first-year guys. So we'll get to know them well, and we'll figure out the right combination and go with it. And hopefully like I said, those guys will grow into really good hitters at the SEC Division I level.
What did you sense from your team in the meeting last night after the game when you talked to them, I guess, either on the field in the group there or maybe in the locker room through this part of the season? Now, this is like the next part of the season as you step into the series with Clemson. What was your sense from your guys as they look ahead to the matchup with the Tigers?
Well, we didn't talk about it last night. We talked about it this afternoon in a team meeting. And I think our guys are very positive and very confident, and I think they're going to go out there and compete with all they've got. And, Phil, pitching is such an important part of the game, and when your pitcher gets off to a rough start and all of a sudden you're down, 6, 7 runs, whatever, it just puts a lot of pressure on your offense. Like I explained to the team today, last night, we didn't pitch well, and we scored 8 runs and lost. But last Sunday, we only scored 4 runs and we won against the Air Force Academy. So we did half as good as offensively a week ago, but we're happy after the game because the pitching was so good that day and we were able to win the game. So this is how baseball is. If your pitcher pitches great, you got a chance to win. If your bullpen can come in and do a good job, you got a real good chance to win. But you still got to score some runs. And our guys were upset last night. But as you mentioned at the beginning of this interview, baseball's one day at a time, one game at a time sport, and you got to have a short memory. Whether you won or lost today or yesterday, it doesn't mean anything the next day. So you got to just put it behind you and move forward and keep your confidence and your enthusiasm and your energy and your hustle. And you got to go out there and you got to play with everything you got with a lot of desire and especially confidence. So, my job as a coach is to keep these guys in a positive state of mind and believe that they can do the job. And hey, we got a great opportunity this weekend. Clemson's had a great start. They've had a really good program for a lot of years, and we're fighting to get ourselves back to that level. And it's a great opportunity for us this weekend.
No question about it. Of course, like they always say, the winner of this series, it doesn't determine how your season's going to go, but it's going to make you feel good for at least 24 hours if you come out with a W. It doesn't automatically mean you're going to win the SEC and get to Omaha, but you'll feel good for a little while.
Well, I don't know. I haven't had the feeling yet against Clemson, so I'll tell you how it feels after, okay?
All right. Well, thank you for the time here on the eve of the big series. Looking forward to being out there throughout the weekend with you guys. Best of luck to you, and thanks for joining us.
Okay, Phil, good to be with you.
Thank you, Coach Paul Maneri, South Carolina baseball coach. Appreciate him jumping on with us right off the top. Yeah, I know folks around the Gamecock land reading stuff, the upset over last night's loss. And, yeah, I mean, but they were undefeated going into the Clemson series last year, and they didn't win the series. They got 3 losses this year. Does not mean they're not going to win the series against Clemson this time around. Baseball's the next day kind of game. Be right back.
Too tough to tame? Try too rough to ride. Nothing about this place lets you sit back. It rips up your tires and tears at your heart. Let's go! History, glory, consequences. That's Darlington, where stripes are well earned. The Goodyear 400. NASCAR's best face the lady in black. And this spring, how about that? She'll leave her mark. Hell yeah, boys! NASCAR weekend at Darlington Raceway, March 20th through the 22nd. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
It might be tough to picture your kid in college today, but it'll be here before you know it. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, makes it easy to start saving right now. You can start with any amount. Savings grow tax-free, and friends and family can chip in too. Discover the smart, easy way to save today at FutureScholar.com. That's FutureScholar.com. That's FutureScholar.com.
Just like in college basketball today, sometimes it's about who you bring in off the bench to provide that extra spark. At StraightUpSports.net, we're excited to announce the addition of Brett Friedlander, a longtime ACC insider columnist, to our all-star lineup that includes Bob Gillespie, Scott Kiefer, Mark Sturgis, and more. At StraightUpSports.net, it's always about the stories. Check out this all-star lineup at StraightUpSports.net or at Straight Up Sports on Facebook.
Make your plans now to get to the coast for the Palmetto State's premier baseball showcase. The Classic, March 5th through 8th at Mike Johnson Park in Georgetown. Now in its 36th year, the Classic features the best high school players and teams from across South Carolina. Don't miss your chance to see the state's top Major League Baseball prospects and title contenders at the Classic. Presented by Coastal Chevrolet Cadillac Nissan. There'll be games and contests, including a home run derby throughout the weekend. Visit theclassicgtown.com for tickets and more information. The Classic, showcasing South Carolina's finest in high school baseball, March 5th through the 8th in the state's best ballpark, Mike Johnson Park in Georgetown.
Play ball! We're with Major Billy Downer of the Department of Natural Resources, and we're visiting at the brand new DNR offices at the State Farmers Market. Major, tell us more about this place.
That's right, Phil. The Department of Natural Resources has a new office located at the South Carolina Farmers Market. You can find us at 260D Epting Lane inside the Farmers Market grounds. Look for the DNR logo when you turn off of Highway 221 in West Columbia, or you can always go to the App Store on your Apple or Android device and look for Go Outdoors SC. Download the app and you can buy all of your license needs right there.
Visit GoOutdoorsSouthCarolina.com today.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of angst out there amongst, I don't want to say that what you see on social media speaks for majority. It probably just speaks for the angered minority. But they speak, and they speak loud. And, they pile on. They jump on, they pile on. It's one complaint, one criticism after another. And it's too early. It's too early to draw conclusions about either of these baseball teams, or any baseball team for that matter. It's too early. It's 9 games into a 56-game season. That would be 1/7 of the season, Plumber. 9 times 7 being 56. You probably don't know that. That'd be 1/7 of the season. You got a lot of season left. So
I could just use AI to figure it out.
Maybe you should. So there is still a story to be told for both of these teams on the season. Now, winning the series, of course, that is a feather in your cap, and you'll feel good for a weekend. You'll feel good for the first part of the week. You'll have bragging rights, but you still got to go play the rest of the season, including your league schedule. And everybody knows that, but it is fun for the weekend to be able to claim that state championship. Though you might not be the best team in the state, that could be Coastal when they're healthy. Of course, their pitching has taken a major hit. So when they're healthy, Coastal, they might be the best team in the country. In the state. But right now they're dealing with some arm issues. So looking to see what both these teams can do as they step into this spotlight, step into this theater that is South Carolina Clemson. Everybody steps up their game. The fans step up the game. The players step up the game. You expect the coaches to step up the game. And it should be, it might not be the most artistic baseball. It might not be the most beautiful baseball, but it should be intense, and it should be played hard, and they should all leave it out on the field, which is all you want to ask for from the team. So I'm looking forward to it. It's always one of my favorite weekends of the year. According to Coach Benary, and I don't know if he has a paid-for weather app like I do, which is, I don't think it's ever been wrong, the forecast for tomorrow in Columbia is as follows.
I'm going to guess a little rainy?
Mostly cloudy with showers, a morning shower or two, 62 degrees.
Yeah.
And then in the nighttime, overcast and 53 degrees.
What is the nighttime classified as?
When it's dark.
So after 5 o'clock?
It doesn't give me a time. And then on Saturday, 71 degrees on Saturday in Columbia. Clouds breaking for some sun, and 13% chance of rain on Saturday. 66% chance of rain on Friday, but you heard him say it's going to clear out by the afternoon. So I'm sure they'll have the tarp on the field. It'll be covered. It drains extremely well over there. So I think we're going to be fine. Listen, we've sat out there in the rain. We've sat out there in the snow and the ice and watched them play baseball. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you are looking forward to it as well. Got a great rest of the show for you. Again, thanks to Coach Benary for joining us. Coach Bakich was with us last night. So as we do here on Sports Talk, we bring you both sides of the story here because we don't believe in leaving half the state out of your sports programming. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Why would you do that? Why would you ignore half the sports fans in the state? That's what makes Sports Talk so beautiful, is that it covers the Gamecocks and the Tigers, not just one or the other. So you've heard from both head coaches. You can draw your own conclusions from what they had to say. Coming up later tonight, we're going to have hardcore hardwood, couple of different styles of hardcore hardwood at 7:05. Of course, the real edition of hardcore hardwood as we talk college basketball, and then at 7:35 we'll do some high school basketball talk as well as we hit the upper and lower state finals of the state playoffs coming up. So we're going to touch on all that, and also we're going to hear from one of the free agent signees for South Carolina football who we talked to yesterday, Armando Nieves. Now you see, I'm a guy, I'm not afraid to be totally honest with you. I'm not afraid to tell you when I say something stupid. You know, most hosts will hide from that kind of stuff. I'm not afraid to tell you.
You have said a couple things stupid today. Let's just get that out of the way.
Well, I'm talking to Armando yesterday. You know, he's from Phoenix. And I asked him about this really good Mexican restaurant in Phoenix. He hadn't heard of it, though.
Right.
I'd been there before when I was there for national championship
I think you've
games.
talked to Mike Morgan about that.
Yeah, the teepee.
Yeah.
So I said to Armando Nieves, I said, so what is your favorite food? He goes, well, I am Mexican. I said, oh, so it's Mexican. He goes, yeah, I love Mexican food because I am Mexican. I said, okay, I get it. I said, that's probably the dumbest question you're going to have asked to you today. So
Had he heard of the place?
Will step up to the plate and accept that. Say what?
Had he heard of the restaurant?
He had not. And, you know, there was another Gamecock free agent I talked to yesterday, the running back who came in from Texas, and his hometown is Phoenix. And I asked him, I said, well, you must go to the Teepee. He goes, no, I never heard of it.
It looks pretty popular. I just looked it up. The Teepee Mexican food restaurant.
It's on
Phoenix.
It's on Old Schoolhouse Road or something like that.
East Indian School Road.
That's it. East Indian School Road. Yeah, Indian School Road. Yeah, it's a great place. That's where all the beautiful people and famous people, when they go to Phoenix, their pictures are on the wall, autographs and all that kind of stuff. That's where I go when I'm in Phoenix.
Is your picture up?
Not yet. Be right back.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Showers throughout the evening, the low temperature dropping to 55. Tomorrow, heavy rain in the morning before things start to clear out later in the day. The high is 61. The weekend looking great. Saturday, sunshine and 67, while on Sunday, gorgeous. A sunshine-filled sky, 76 degrees. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Hey y'all, this is Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. We'd like to invite you and your family to dine with us. We have a great menu that's sure to please your whole family. We have fresh cooked burgers, big juicy wings, blue plate menu featuring country cooking, oven baked hoagies, fresh crisp salads, authentic Greek food like gyros, souvlaki, and baklava. We also carry 20 different premium cheesecakes and pies. Flight Deck Restaurant also has an arcade with 30 different games like Star Wars, Batman, Skee Ball, Bass Wheel, Pac-Man, Galaga, and so much more. Flight Deck, your favorite family restaurant. Thanks y'all and God bless.
To with SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Netflix is declining to raise its offer to buy Warner Brothers Discovery's studio and streaming business in a stunning move that effectively puts Paramount in a position to take over the storied Hollywood giant. On Thursday, after Warner's board announced that Skydance owned Paramount's offer was superior to the agreement it had previously struck with Netflix, the streaming giant said the new price that would be required to buy Warner would make it a deal that is no longer financially attractive. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei says the artificial intelligence company cannot in good conscience accede to the Pentagon's demands to allow wider use of its technology. The Pentagon's top spokesman is reiterating the military wants to use Anthropic's artificial intelligence technology in legal ways. This is SRN News.
Are you tired of that dripping faucet driving you crazy? Is your drain doing more of a gurgle than a flow? Don't despair. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is here to save your day. Serving our community as locally owned plumbing experts, Franklin Plumbing tackles everything from minor leaks to major clogs. And we're talking fast, friendly, reliable service. They respect your home. They respect your wallet. Josh and his team offer upfront pricing, and that's important. This team I'm talking about, they're fully licensed. They're insured technicians. They're ready for any plumbing crisis that you might encounter. Whether it's routine maintenance, a stubborn blockage, or a total plumbing overhaul, they'll get the job done right the first time. They've been out to my home, my brother's home, even his business. I'm comfortable, very comfortable, bragging on Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. Stop letting plumbing problems disrupt your life. Call Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning today and experience the difference that true expertise makes. Visit their website, franklinplumbing.sc.com, or give them a call, 799-2222. That's 799-2222. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning.
Attention all gun owners. Did you know you can now purchase a suppressor with a $0 tax stamp? Palmetto State Armory is the go-to destination for suppressors with brands like Dead Air, Advanced Armament, Silencer Co., and many more on hand. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff is there to help walk you through the suppressor buying process and help you make the right decision whether it's your first suppressor purchase or your 10th. Stop in today and take advantage of the new $0 tax stamp on suppressors at Palmetto State Armory, your premier suppressor dealer.
Hi, I'm Sean Paliak, the new owner of Columbia Screen Printing and Design, formerly Bardak Design and Tease Me. We've rebranded, but our experienced staff and quality results haven't changed. We proudly serve the Columbia area with top-notch garments and design, and offer free delivery on our local orders. Visit us on Rosewood Drive near the fairgrounds, or check us out online. For t-shirts, sweatshirts, jerseys, koozies, and more, call Columbia Screen Printing and Design at 254-7940. We're local, fast, and ready to wow you.
When storms hit the Midlands, who do you trust to keep your family safe and dry? Shingles Now, your local family-owned pros. Charlie and Rodney, both GAF Master Elite contractors, deliver honest, top-quality roof repairs and replacements. Licensed, insured, and proud to offer free inspections and estimates, we make protection stress-free and affordable. You can count on Shingles Now, the team that treats you like family. Shingles Now, roof repairs right away. Visit shinglesnow.com today.
When your temperatures swing, your comfort shouldn't. At Sweet Comfort Services, we make sure your system's ready for anything. Get our $99 preventative maintenance, a full inspection and tune-up that keeps your equipment efficient, reliable, and safe. Thinking it's time for an upgrade? We offer estimates on new Goodman and American Standard systems. You'll get honest advice, fair pricing, and expert installation. No gimmicks, no surprises. Call 803-331-8143 or visit sweetcomfortservices.com to schedule today.
Siren? Why do I hear the fact check siren, Plumber?
I guess we'll play the evidence.
Evidence? You have evidence?
I have evidence
of a
this.
mistake.
Well, yeah, let's get into it here. Hang on.
Where's the if you have evidence, then I have no argument against you. What's the evidence?
Well, let's get into it. All of our math nerds, listen up, okay?
Mm-hmm. For that matter. It's too early. It's 9 games into a 56-game season. That would be 1/7 of the season, Plumber. 9 times 7 being 56. You probably don't know that. That'd be 1/7 of the season.
Hey, Phil. What's 9 times 7?
It is 63. So actually, it's 1/8 of the season, thanks to everybody that immediately, my man Everett German, down in Charleston, voice of the Cougs, jumped on me here quickly. Of course, he's a Lakers fan, so he's got nothing to talk to me about after we beat him twice. But yeah. And thanks for all the text messages as well. Yeah, 9 times 7, I think, is still 63. So it would be 1/8 of the season has been played. 1/8. 1/8. 8 times 7 is 56.
And while we're at it, I guess we better get to your other error of the day.
What was that?
Your false, you believed a false tweet, a parody tweet.
I got sucked into an AI tweet. Yeah, I sure did.
There was a fake tweet that went out last night.
Didn't look fake to me.
Of a, quote, fire pulmonary protest outside Founders Park.
Mm.
One of the guys didn't have arms. Look at that guy. He has no arms, Phil. Has no arms.
You sure he doesn't have that tucked into his
I'm
pants?
Sure. Unless he's doing this.
Yeah.
When there's no pockets up on your
Well,
chest.
what led you to believe that was AI created? Because I looked at it with a fine-tooth comb, and I noticed like the wrinkles. There's a lady holding a big sign that says Fire Pulmonary, and she's holding the sign, and there's wrinkles in the sign. Like she's holding it, gripping it, creating these little wrinkles. I mean, that's awfully real looking to me when you see that kind of detail.
That's fair. And
oh, so you're not convinced?
No, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
But AI is very, very good. I'll tell you, if you haven't seen the tweet, go to our Twitter. Phil, for some reason, still has it up.
Well, because I don't run from mistakes. I don't run and hide. I put it out there. I'm not running from it. Okay, so I got sucked into an AI false tweet.
But anyways,
shoot me.
There's no way that they'll have it that perfect, the text. The text is too perfect on a banner. I mean, if it's handmade, it's too perfect. Two signs, the exact same, say time for a change in the exact same signage. I think these are back here. These signs are in Russian.
Well, I couldn't read those.
This one says Fire Pulmonary. That's fine. Like I said, this guy has no hands. I think I was looking through it earlier. One of these people had 6 fingers on their hands.
You can't tell that.
I promise you I could. I promise you I could.
Well, I mean, look, that is a perfect picture of that portion outside the stadium. That is where people stand to buy and sell tickets outside the ticket office.
Yeah.
And people gather there. And look how they're standing on the dirt. They're standing on the cement. They look like real Gamecocks who are ticked off at the baseball team, et cetera, et cetera. I think there's a lot of reason to think that was real.
Another thing is that what they probably did was they probably took it. That was probably a real picture from last night. They probably took the picture and they said, add a group of protesters with signs that say Fire Pulmonary.
That's how you do it?
Just like I could add a picture of you right here that says, make this guy look good, Make this guy look the opposite of what he does now.
I look good. I don't need AI to look good.
Add hair to this gentleman.
I don't need it. I look just fine.
Hair.
I'm very happy. All right, thank you for that. Phone number 888-898-2525. Let's go ahead and jump on the phones and also our text message line, 803-900-4847. You all right, Plumber? Good Lord. 803-900-4847. Should mention South Carolina women playing tonight at home against Missouri. Last home game for the South Carolina women. So I think they only have one player for sure that's on the senior list. Everybody else can come back. Missouri 16-13, 4-10. This will be a blowout. 27-2, the Gamecocks 13-1. I say everybody can come back. I think Okada is one that's got to appeal for another year. But this will be over midway through the second quarter. It'll be a 20-point lead. Mark my word. All right, we're going where? Chandler in McClellanville, did you say? Is that right? Chandler, welcome into Sports Talk.
Yes,
how
sir.
are you? Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing great, thank you.
Good. A little bit of further correction on your math. I don't know if Plummer picked that up for me or who he got it from, but it's closer to a 6, Bill. 6 is times 9 is 54. So that's how that math works. You know what I mean? You have there's 9 games in.
Wait a minute, nine. Wait a minute.
9 games in.
9 games
right?
in. 8. 9 times
6 is 54. So it's about a sixth of the season.
Oh,
16%.
I was even off again. Yeah. Wait a minute.
You're welcome,
wait a minute.
Plummer.
So 9 times 8. Okay, I got you. 9 games played times 6 is 54.
Yeah. So it's about a 6.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay.
I'm pretty sharp at math too. I used to be anyhow.
Double whammy there. I'm with you. All right, what else you got?
That's all I've got for you, man. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you.
Y'all have
all right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That doesn't get another error, does it?
No, let's just roll it into one error.
I don't know.
The whole thing was an error to begin with. So they've played 9 games. they've played 9 games. They're 6-3. They played 9 games out of 56. So that means they've got 40. They've got 49 games left. 49 games left. Okay, 49 games left. And they've played 9 of 56. 9 times 6 is 54. Yeah, that's almost a sixth of the season. So they've got a sixth. They've played a sixth of the season.
What did you just say 9 times 6 was?
54.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. You know what? I need to stay away from anything having to do with math.
I for a second I thought you said 9 times 6 was 56. I could have
No,
been just
no.
hearing
8 times
things,
7 is 56.
Okay.
9 times 6 is 54.
Okay.
Yeah, but thank you for that. I appreciate it. Let's see here. From the 803, 7 times 9 is not 56, Phil. Okay, thank you very much for that. Let's see what else we got here. Plumber, where is the factual error horn? Phil just said, and I quote, 9 times 7 equals 56. When he was saying the baseball season is only 1/7 the way through.
I think the 1/7 that should be, and then you said 1/8. You said an eighth. You corrected yourself and said it was an eighth of the way through.
Yeah, it's really like a sixth of the way through, almost. All right, let's go to Hank in Columbia. Oh, Hank, he's a math wizard. Hank, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Phil. I'm gonna have to give you another error so that Plumber can crank up the sirens. You said that Carolina tonight's the last home game for the Carolina women, but they have 4 seniors. You said one. You said you thought Oakholt was the only one that could come back, but they have Raven Johnson, Sanaya Latson, Miriam Dowder, and Oakholt. There's 4 seniors. It's Raven last year, Sanaya Latson's last year, and it's Miriam Dowder's last year. So it's 4, not 1.
All right, hit it. Oh, so that's why Dawn said you better bring the Kleenex to tonight's game. Are you taking one? Are you taking 1 or 2 boxes of Kleenex to tonight's game?
I'll take the Kleenex, but it's gonna be tough to see Raven go. I mean, a point guard that's been that good, she's gonna walk away with 5 SEC titles, 2 national titles, and 4 regional titles. 4 SEC titles, 5 SEC titles. So,
I should mention, since we're talking about the South Carolina women, that Tessa Johnson is out tonight. Did you know that?
I could have seen a little bit of it because I knew she was nursing a little issue with her leg. So I could see it.
She is listed as out on the pregame injury report, along with Adele Tack and, of course, Chloe Kitts.
It's been listed all year long.
Yeah. So, but Tessa Johnson. So she is out. So you won't see her tonight. Okay, that's right. We got more seniors than I don't know where I got stuck on just the one. Maybe I read something about. Somebody wrote about one player being a senior playing her last game for some reason. I was stuck in my head that was it. But you're right. There are other seniors. I apologize. Corrected and noted.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. And you're supposed to learn your math before 2nd grade, so we can't help you with that.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck with what I got between the ears. It is what it is. All right. Thank you very much. Boy, everybody's having a laugh at my expense tonight. What is this? Crack on corn night? Is that what this has become? Of course, I'm giving him plenty of ammunition. And
it doesn't help that you have added 29 of 33 errors in just 2 months to our Sports Talk error list.
What do you mean 29 of 33?
You have made 29 of 33 of Sports Talk altogether has 33
who's made the
errors.
other 4?
Smitty, Mike Morgan, and Berkey. I have 0.
Yeah, but Morgan, he won't contribute a dime.
Well, he does owe $1. So
yeah, he's not going to be with us tonight. By the way, his voice is not good. Should be with us tomorrow night. He said.
Oh.
That's what he tells me. Okay. All right, phone number 888-898-2525. And where are we going next?
Keith in Camden.
Oh, Keith will bail me out. Keith, you're a preacher. Do something for me. Welcome in.
Well, look, Phil, I tell you what, I'm not going 1-6, 1-8, 1 or 4. I mean, really, man, come on, give you a break tonight.
I'm all over the map. I wish I had an excuse. I wish I had smoked something before I came in here so I'd have a good excuse.
We are on Millwood.
That's true. Maybe I just inhaled as I was walking in.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, did you watch last night's game, by the way?
I listened. I was driving back from Clemson, and so I listened to pretty much the entire game. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 6-3 at this point. I think we'll have a pretty good idea after this weekend, but I'll be honest with you, there's some major concerns, and maybe that was a fake sign, but there are a lot of people feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to listen to you and Bergie T's comments on that.
All right.
Y'all have a great night. Plummer, lighten up on him a little bit, all right, bud?
Wouldn't be in his nature.
Aye.
Thank you, Reverend. All right. Yeah, I think we'll know a lot more about both of these teams. Not a complete story, of course, because they both have their tough league schedules coming up, but we'll have a better feel. Look, I mean, Clemson's got the great record. They got some great numbers. They have made some errors in the field. They do have some guys who haven't really hit yet. They might start this weekend. We'll see. In South Carolina, they've had the 3 losses to teams that they should not lose to. But, I mean, how do you explain any loss in baseball? As Coach Beneri pointed out, Tuesday night, several SEC teams lost to teams that you would say they shouldn't lose to. So it's baseball. 2 other times since they've gone to the 3-series arrangement and they've played all 3 games over a weekend. There was no rain delay and games were pushed later into the season. So since 2010, we've had that. We've had no interruptions of the 3-game weekend. So since 2010 through 25, there's been no interruption. 2 other times, the Gamecocks have gone into the series with 3 losses, 2017 and 2018. So it's not like it's the first time it's happened. In fact, in the year that they won the national championship in 2010, I believe it was 2010, they'd had 2 losses when they went into the Clemson series. And I think Clemson pounded them in one of those games in that series. Then they went on with a national championship. I'm not saying that this team is going to go off and have a great year at South Carolina and win an SEC or finish in the upper half, because nobody knows. I don't know, and really you don't know. I will say I like their pitching still. And Coach Beneri believes that he's got a better overall team than he had last year. So, I mean, I'll roll with that until we'll see otherwise. They're a team that's hitting .305. They're a team that's hit 13 home runs. They have hit 25 doubles. So they got a lot of extra base hitting power in their lineup, based on that. The team ERA is ordinarily 3.71. Now Clemson's 1.43. But it means nothing when they get out there tomorrow.
Too tough to tame? Try too rough to ride. Nothing about this place lets you sit back. It rips up your tires and tears at your heart.
Let's go!
History, glory, consequences. That's Darlington, where stripes are well earned. The Goodyear 400. NASCAR's best face the lady in black. And this spring,
how about that?
She'll leave her mark.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR Weekend at Darlington Raceway, March 20th through the 22nd. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. In fact, the lottery has raised more than $200 million for state school buses to get our students to school safely every day. Then, the lottery helps those students go even further in their education by funding the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. So remember, when you play the lottery, you're keeping South Carolina students on the road to success. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
If you want to reach sports fans, there's no better place than the Sports Talk Media Network. We give your business exposure on over 20 radio affiliates across South Carolina, plus online at SportsTalkSC.com and on our growing social media platforms. That means radio, digital, and social, all working together for your brand. Our audience is loyal, engaged, and they trust what they hear from us. We partner with local businesses, regional brands, and anyone who who wants to connect with real sports fans. From live reads and sponsorships to digital advertising, we'll build a custom campaign to fit your goals and budget. Ready to advertise with Sports Talk Media Network? Visit sportstalksc.com/sales-contact. That's sportstalksc.com/sales-contact. Sports Talk Media Network. Advertising that reaches sports fans.
Hi, Phil Kornblut here with our good friend George Bryan III. Heard every Friday night on Birdies, Bogeys, and Biceps right here on Sports Talk. George, the Tsunami Bar, a very valuable tool for golfers. Why is that?
Well, the first thing that I say is the tempo. It's the only tool out there that allows the study of tension right from the first grab to be expressed, and rhythm and tempo is what makes the bar work, and it gives you something awfully special to keep those hands soft and get that rhythm going.
Learn more about Tsunami Bar technology by clicking on the digital ad on our website, SportsTalkSC.com, and save 5% by purchasing online using the promo code BBB5. All right, let's hear from one of the South Carolina free agent football signees, Armando Nieves, big offensive lineman coming to South Carolina from New Mexico State. Had a chance to talk with him yesterday. Armando, coming from where you have come from Phoenix, New Mexico State, all the way here to South Carolina to the SEC, what's that transition been like for you?
For me, it's been smooth sailing, I would say. They've done a really good job, helping me get accommodated here, living wise, help me find an apartment, all that type of stuff, and just kind of taking care of me. And then, coming here into the workouts, I would say that was a little bit of a challenge at first. Easy SEC workouts, are no joke, for sure. But going on to week 7, I would say now of winter workouts, it's been really good. I've seen a lot of progress.
How about the lifestyle down here in the Deep South?
I'm still getting adjusted to that, I would say. I haven't really, been out anywhere to eat, so if anyone can give me some suggestions to eat somewhere down here in Columbia, that'd be great. So,
what's your favorite food?
I would say for me, I really love Mexican food. Just, I come from a Mexican household, so if there's any Mexican food down here, let me know.
It's a good one, and there's plenty of them. So you talk about the workouts and getting caught up in the SEC style of workouts. What does that mean to you in comparison from where you came?
Here, the way Coach Day and his staff do things, it's more, a lot more focused on, your body and, how the body moves and, how they can turn you into a better athlete. And, instead of, let me be a power lifter type person, so it's, I've had to move my body with a lot of different crawls and stuff like that, and kind of, hold my own body weight, get a lot stronger doing certain stuff, get faster. So it was challenging at first, but I'm starting to, break into it, and, it's been good.
What have they outlined for you about expectations and how they're going to work you into the offensive line rotation?
It's, a bunch of brand new guys, everyone's competing. We have a lot of really good young guys as well. So it's, they're kind of just mix and match and stuff, just kind of see how things are going. And, or at the end of the day, we're all here to compete. So it's been good.
Tackle, guard, center, what will you be used at mostly?
Tackle, left and right tackle.
What strengths do you think you bring to the offensive line?
Strengths I think I bring to, obviously my size, I would say, first of all, 6'7", long dude, resilient player for sure, mentally tough, dependable. There's, I think I bring a lot of dependability to the room, the coaching staff can be like, okay, I can depend on him to do this and that.
So you're new, a bunch of the other linemen are new, offensive line coach is new, so really it's like a fresh start for everybody. That's an advantage for you new guys, right? Because the coach doesn't have any preconceived notions about anything.
Yeah, no doubt. That's it's gonna be good. We've done a good job as a room. Kind of just bonding together and getting close with each other. And at the end of the day, it's a brand new room, but it feels like we've been teammates. Good guys for a while now.
When you were looking at your opportunities in transferring, why did you pick South Carolina?
Yeah, so, back when I was in junior college at Hutchinson Community College, throughout the spring, I posted my spring film, and they had actually reached out. So that kind of put them on the radar. I'm like, oh, wow, the SEC is interested in me. So, we texted for a little bit. I could end up leaving because I was a December grad, and at that point, nothing ended up happening. So, I went the way I went to Mexico State after that, and, everything comes full circle at the end of the day. So, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad I'm here. This is the SEC big-time ball, so yeah.
I'm not going to dig into your personal business or anything like that, but we all on the outside kind of believe you guys in the free agent market get thrown a ton of money out there as schools are bidding after you. Did you kind of go through that? Was that part of your decision-making process as you were weighing various offers?
For me personally, I've never really been about the money. I told someone earlier that was here that I wanted to be developed for sure, and I think going on my visit here, talking to Coach Clem and Coach Jason Smith, and the experience that they bring to the table, and also hearing out Coach Day, that meeting with Coach Day, I'm just like, this is the spot, and plus I already had that prior connection to hearing about South Carolina, so that's probably the biggest role that played in the decision.
How excited are you about getting on the field and cranking it up in spring ball?
I'm very excited. It's been a very good 7 weeks, I would say, of winter workouts, and we just got done with our last week. Tomorrow's actually our last day. We're gonna do like a grit night type deal thingy. So it's gonna be good. I'm excited to actually get on the field and kind of put this offense that we've been learning put it out on the field for everyone to see how it can turn out.
And you lose Jacarius Peak for an extended period of time. How do you guys kind of pick up wherever it was where he left off?
Yeah, it's unfortunate to hear about what happened to him. We're here with him. We're praying for him. So, at the end of the day, next man up, and we're gonna keep competing. Pray for his speedy recovery.
All right, there you go. Our conversation with Armando Nieves, free agent, offensive tackle signing for South Carolina. He's a big guy. He's a big guy. If he's got the skills to be able to compete in the SEC, he should be a plus for the Gamecocks. Hillcrest High School announced that they have named Amos Lamb as their new head football coach, and he is a former assistant coach on the staff there, so he is now going to be the head coach at Hillcrest High School. And Scott Eisberg from Charleston with the report this afternoon. Legendary Low Country coach David Reese has passed away. He coached Tony Elliott at James Island. He's in the Charleston Southern Hall of Fame. Like almost 60 years on the sidelines. Sorry to hear that news. And we'll be back.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton finished 6 hours of testimony today in front of the House Oversight Committee meeting in the Clintons' hometown of Chappaqua, New York. James Comer, the Republican chairman, says the House Oversight Committee is not singling out the Clintons.
The Democrats voted to subpoena the Clintons. The Democrats voted with the Republicans to hold the Clintons in contempt. So the Democrats have just as many questions for the Clintons as the Republicans. So this isn't a partisan witch hunt.
Former President Bill Clinton will give his deposition to the committee tomorrow. A fierce Russian overnight barrage injures several people in a key Ukrainian city. Correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
Video provided by the State Emergency Service shows the upper floors of residential buildings on fire in Zaporizhia, the region's home to Europe's largest nuclear plant, which is currently held by Russia and remains a sticking point in peace negotiations. The service reports at least 9 people were injured in that attack. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine also adds Russia's used over 5,200 kamikaze drones against Ukraine. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Russia launched a barrage of 420 drones and 39 missiles at Ukraine overnight. Dozens of people, including children, were injured, officials said, though authorities did not immediately publish a confirmed total. Netflix is declining to raise its offer to buy Warner Brothers Discovery's studios and streaming business in a stunning move that effectively puts Paramount in a position to take over the storied Hollywood giant. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 17 points, the Nasdaq dropped 273, with the S&P 500 index lower by 37 points. More at townhall.com.
Dennis Prager here for AmFed Coin and Bullion. I've always been a strong believer in precious metals investment, and I've always been fascinated with rare coin collecting. But owning the wrong coins that only make dealers a lot of money can be catastrophic for your investment portfolio. AmFed Coin and Bullion specializes in taking people out of non-performing coin portfolios and turning them into gold, silver, or platinum bullion. They tailor a portfolio based on your goals and not what they want to sell you. You'll never experience scare tactics, misleading hype, or high-pressure sales from owner Nick Grovich and his very knowledgeable staff. They will evaluate your portfolio, show you how your coins have performed, and take the time to educate you on the ugly industry practices so that you can make an informed decision. Smart people can make very bad investments when they're under pressure and lack the facts. Call 800-221-7694. That's 800-221-7694. AmericanFederal.com.
Instagram plans to start alerting parents if their kids repeatedly search for terms clearly associated with suicide or self-harm.
The alerts will go to parents enrolled in Instagram's parental supervision program. The platform says it already blocks such content from showing up in teen account search results. The announcement comes as Meta faces 2 trials over harm to youngsters. One of the trials questions whether Meta's platforms deliberately addict minors. The other trial seeks to determine whether Meta failed to protect kids from sexual exploitation online. Rich Thomason reporting.
Vermont towns are pushing lawmakers to change public records rules because several out-of-state companies have been flooding them with requests. Officials say the work is piling up fast and deadlines feel unrealistic. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Showers throughout the evening, the low temperature dropping to 55. Tomorrow, heavy rain in the morning before things start to clear out later in the day. The high is 61. The weekend looking great. Saturday, sunshine and 67, while on Sunday, gorgeous. The sunshine-filled sky, 76 degrees. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
We are back on Sports Talk. Sports Talk Media Network. It's a big, big Thursday night as we almost drop the curtain on February, which means, of course, coming up, it's going to be March Madness. March Madness right around the corner, which means some very, very hardcore hoops right here on Sports Talk.
Hardcore Hardwood with Ken Potosnak on Sports Talk.
We talk hardcore hoops on Hardcore Hardwood here on Sports Talk.
The name is Hardcore Hardwood because we have high school hoops after this segment.
Yes, I know the name. I just don't always remember it. By the way, we've had one game played already today. College of Charleston beat Hampton 85-71 up there Martin Kalu had 27 points. Let's welcome in Coach Ken Potosnak. Talk some hardcore hardwood right here on Sports Talk. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Doing great, Phil. Great to be with you.
Yeah, man. How about College of Charleston? That's 20 wins. There's 20 wins for them now with this one today, a 14-point win, 20-10 on the season. But it's a one-bid league, right? That would be the CAA be a one-bid league?
It will be, but, it's funny, the College of Charleston, going back to Coach Kress and just along the way, it's almost as if 20 isn't even the benchmark anymore there. Everybody gets 20 there. I think when they get to 25, or Pat Kelsey got to 30 a few years there, it's a terrific basketball job, obviously, and they love their basketball in Charleston. So they're on point though. They've got 2 or 3 left, I'm sure, and plus the tournament. And beyond that, so see how it finishes for them. But they certainly they've had a great run over the last 6 or 7 weeks. A little bit slower start than normal there, but they're getting in full gear right at the right time.
You have much interaction with Coach Mack?
No, I really don't know Coach. I mean, he's been around. He was at Wake Forest. He was at Xavier. He's been around, but I don't know him as well as I know many others.
You mentioned Pat Kelsey.
Yeah.
What about him as a coach? I mean, he is a guy that really, wherever you roll out the balls, this guy just wins. Winthrop, College of Charleston, and now at Louisville. And he stepped into a really troublesome situation there at Louisville.
Obviously, he's done a terrific job in each and every one of those jobs, and he's a teacher. He's a communicator. He has great energy, and certainly he's the type of guy that brings it each and every day. Each one of those jobs you mentioned are terrific basketball jobs, but there are some guys that can take a terrific basketball job and almost go a little bit higher. And Pat Kelsey has done that certainly at the College of Charleston, and getting Louisville back to what it used to be. So he and certainly at Winthrop when he took over Greg's teams there, and the run that they had and the tradition they have built, it's set up for success there. But certainly had a great run there as well.
So tonight also we've got Winthrop playing Charleston Southern. Talking about Winthrop, I mean, at one point, they were plugging Winthrop into the bracketology, thinking they were going to win the Big South. But I think everybody now is sort of leaning towards High Point. High Point's 26-4. They've jumped out to an 8-0 lead. High Point has on Presbyterian. Winthrop's going to play Charleston Southern tonight. Winthrop is 20-9, and Upstate will be playing Radford tonight. So you got a lot of Big South action. High Point, what's their story? I mean, they've been pretty good here for the last few years. I know their coaching staff's pretty strong, is it not?
The amount of resources and the amount of things that High Point has as an institution, and in terms of what they're providing players at this point is really, really strong. And it always goes back, and we've mentioned this several times over the course of the last month or two, that there's certain teams in the league that just have a lot more, and they certainly have some great resources, and then you couple great resources with solid coaching, some really, really special things can get done.
Yeah, but don't they have a nice arena at High Point? Don't they have like a new arena, a really nice arena?
Beautiful arena, and I think they've got a lot of financial resources, not only for athletics, but really for the entire school. And I think they've done some just tremendous things in all areas there on that campus, and have decided to put a lot of money into men's basketball. Not sure about the other sports, but I am really aware of talking to a lot of agents and a lot of people that are dealing in NIL, dealing in revenue share, dealing with all that they have a lot of resources to play with.
Coach Ken Potosnak, hardcore hardwood, with us here on Sports Talk. I saw Kentucky the other night. Well, I saw the second half their game in Columbia against South Carolina. And it was a tight ball game. Give the Gamecocks credit for hanging in there and making it a ball game and having a chance until the last 5 minutes. So they played hard, and obviously they're limited, and they got beaten badly on the boards. Though really the second chance points between the two, I think South Carolina, even though they gave up more offensive rebounds, they were better on second chance points than Kentucky. And the Gamecocks, one thing that kept them in that game, Coach, they forced 15 Kentucky turnovers. And Kentucky doesn't turn it over that much. But, down the stretch, Kentucky made the plays. They're 29th in the net. And, they'll be a dangerous team in March. You figure they can light it up and get it rolling at any point of the tournament?
Well, they've been a little bit up and down. Their point guard play was a real issue for them at one point. Their big kid from Arizona State has never gotten healthy, but I think is in terms of having a pure, true point guard like Jalen Lowe, who shut it down after 9 games and his shoulder injury. I think that takes away a little bit from their backcourt. They certainly have a lot of talented players, a lot of resources. Give South Carolina a lot of credit. That game was tied late, and much like the Georgia game, much like the Auburn game, that game at Kentucky, you're one player away, you're one special player away from maybe being able to take you over the top. And Kentucky has a lot of big names. They've got a lot of special players, and but they also have had some great runs, then they lose 4 or 5. So it'll be interesting to see what their matchup is in the tournament and how that goes. It's certainly not a dominant Kentucky team like we've seen in the past.
No, but with that talent, they can take over a game at any time and play with most anybody, especially when they have their outside shooting going along with their size and their individual talent. Clemson. Are you worried at all about them and the tournament? The bracketologists have dropped them as far as number 10, I think is where Lunardi had them as a number 10 seed, which is kind of getting close to that danger line for a school in the ACC like they are, and where they would fall below the cut line as far as the seeding goes. They've lost 4 in a row now. All of a sudden, after that great trip out to the Bay Area, they can't beat anybody. And they got Louisville coming up at home on Saturday.
Well, they certainly have some, they've got Louisville coming up. They're at North Carolina. You may have the schedule in front of them. They may have Virginia as well.
No, Virginia. They don't play Virginia.
No, Virginia.
No, I'll tell you in just a second who the other team is, but go ahead.
But again, I've said this all along. I really believe in their defense. I've watched them a ton. And, they've had some offensive struggles. You can go back to December. They were up 20 on BYU, who's a well-paid, super talented team, and just couldn't finish it because of offense just went away in the second half there. And they've had that, several times in the last 2 or 3 games. So, to get that back, they've had some spurts where the guys have popped their head up. Nick Davidson went for 25 one night. Mm-hmm. And their guards at times have had some big games, but they're going to have to get a little bit better guard play, a little bit better scoring offensively from their backcourt to go along with, terrific defensive efforts. They held Florida State to 70, but I've mentioned it several times. Can their offense get to 70? And they couldn't get there. The games they've lost, they got 65 against Florida State. They got 69 against NC State when they lost in overtime. If they can just find a way to get to 70, I think they're going to right the ship and find a way to have a good March.
Georgia Tech is that last game. That's the home game, the last game of the regular season. They'll face Georgia Tech after you mentioned Louisville, then North Carolina. So they need to find some wins here down the stretch just to secure themselves, because let's assume let's play the old devil's advocate here. Let's assume they lose at home to Louisville and then lose at North Carolina. I mean, does it make that Georgia Tech game, does that make them a must-win game for them to get themselves – will they – do you think they will drop out of the tournament field if they were to lose the next two games? I guess I should put it that way. Would they be that damaged if they lose the next two games? That'd be a 6-game losing streak.
Well, on the hardcore hoop side of it, on the coaching side of it, I was always just worried about the next game. And so, to look 2 or 3 games beyond that and to think about those assumptions or hypotheticals is really difficult. But I think to your point is they do need to right the ship. I was really hoping for them. They could have played better against Florida State. They just couldn't get it going offensively. But, if they can break out of that and all of a sudden confidence can come back quickly. If you look at some of these teams that are, sort of like Clemson, I think Auburn has a talented group. They had lost 5 in a row at one point. Kentucky, I think they lost 4 in a row at some point. Clemson has dropped 4 in a row. North Carolina lost 3 in a row when they went to SMU, Colorado, and Stanford. So I think it was, as you look around the country, if you're not the elite of the elite, there are going to be some losing streaks, and hopefully they can get themselves out of it against Louisville here coming up.
Yeah. But as well as I do, they look at you late. They look at what you've done late, and that kind of weighs heavily on them. So
I think the conference conference tournaments are going to play into that as well. If you go deep into the conference tournament, to your point, some of the losing streaks are forgotten about. But you've seen it in the ACC. I saw Wake Forest. It was 2 or 3 years ago. They're going to supposedly walk into the tournament. They lose in the first round to Boston College on the very first night, and they get knocked out. So the conference tournaments will play out large as well.
You mentioned Virginia, not playing Clemson, but we need to give them a shout-out again because what a job Ryan Odom is doing. I know you know Ryan Odom family well, and, I mean, they're right there knocking on the door right behind Duke for the ACC regular season championship. Duke's got it right now, though. But what is it about Ryan Odom and this Virginia team that has clicked?
They're a super experienced team. There are very few teams in college basketball. Michigan State, a few others that have kept their guys together for 2-3 years. Ryan's group, as you look at it, they are guys that are graduate transfers. They're fourth-year guys. And even DeRitter DeRitter is probably 21, 22 years old. He played professionally for several years in Europe. So if you look at their roster, they're an older group. They're not as old as Frank Signetti's 24-year-old at team average Indiana's national championship team. But just looking at the roster, he's done a great job putting a roster together. He went to Europe and got 2 quality big guys, and he's got a third big who plays a great role for them. So they've got size, they've got shooting at all spots, and they're good defensively. And so in a very short time frame, he's put it together. And you've seen that at some spots that it just it happens. And they'll continue to win at a high rate here down the stretch, I would think.
Well, they just spanked NC State 90-61 the other night, and they'll play Duke on Saturday. I think that game's in Durham. So can they go in there and knock them off? Can they go in there and beat the Blue Devils? Are they capable of doing that?
They're old enough to. I just watched Duke defensively. And Duke is really, really good defensively. They got great size for position. They're super, talented offensively. but they are defending at a really, really high level as well. But the one thing that Virginia can do is they're not afraid to take 35, 43s, and they shoot the ball at a really good clip outside the arc, and they've gone inside with it more. I think in the second half of the season, they're posting up their guards. They're playing some with their bigs with back to the basket. They're throwing the ball into the paint and playing off those guys, and I think it's helped them offensively. So just watching it, if they can shoot the three well in Cameron, who knows what can happen.
Yeah. Well, Duke's having a great week. Going back to the weekend, of course, they beat Michigan, and they went and just annihilated Notre Dame on Tuesday up in South Bend. So they got a lot of mo going their way. We thank you. Great stuff here on Hardcore Hardwood. And we will talk to you next week. Have a great basketball weekend, sir.
Thank you, Phil. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you. That is Coach Ken Potosnak. Boy, he does a great job. I love people that know the game. And he knows the game, and he does a great job. And we thank him for being with us tonight. And we'll update these scores. Told you Charleston's already won. High Point up on PC now 19-10. And looking for updates on the other two games. I don't see scores being posted just yet. And we'll be back after the break.
If you missed the home equity line of credit offer from Founders Federal Credit Union, we have good news. The offer has been extended, but don't wait. You only have until February 28th to get up to $750 toward closing costs when you open a Founders HELOC. That's more in your pocket for home improvement, debt consolidation, major purchases, unexpected expenses, or a much-needed vacation. The possibilities are endless. Imagine starting a new year with financial flexibility and peace of mind. But hurry, this special offer ends February 28th. Save more and jumpstart your year. Plus, you'll enjoy competitive rates and flexible terms designed to fit your budget. Visit foundersfcu.com/HELOC for more information. Membership qualification required. Institution NMLS. Identifier number 410646. Equal housing lender. See website for details.
I'm attorney Jim Corbett. For over 35 years, I've been handling claims and cases for individuals and small businesses. I've now been a mediator for more than 10 years. Let me put that experience to work for you. Like if you're injured in a wreck or on the job or at someone else's place, anytime you should get reimbursed or compensated. Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968 or jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. Corbett with an E, and the initial consultation is free. Jim Corbett to settle your claims, avoid a lawsuit, or go to trial.
Looking for a new car? You need to think about a Kia. If you're in the market for an SUV, consider the new Kia Telluride or the new Kia Sorento. They're big, they're strong, and loaded with tech for thousands less than Honda or Toyota. You'll see the difference right away, and you get double the warranty. Plus, you get the JT's Advantage million-mile warranty and about 1,000 other things you have to see to believe. If you want the biggest bang for your buck, it's time to think about a new JT's Kia. We're serious about saving you money.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
Okay, plumber error. Okay, let's get to the recruiting report tonight here on Sports Talk, brought to you by Seawell's. Tomorrow's a special day at Seawell's, plumber.
It sure is. It's a roast beef Friday. My favorite day. Chicken tenders as well. Teriyaki glazed salmon, nuggets, and they have Polish kielbasa with grilled onions. A great day at Seawell's.
Absolutely. Make sure you get to Seawell's and enjoy the daily luncheon buffet from 11 till 2. There's nothing like a roast beef Friday. All the terrific food.
The gravy makes it.
Yeah. Pat Daniel used to love the gravy. Get the meat sweats,
It's
as
something
he called
about
it.
this chair, in this side of the room.
That's about people who like to eat. And obviously, people who like to eat. So if you like to eat, Seawell should be your choice. Make sure you get there tomorrow, a roast beef Friday. Don't miss it. You'll be disappointed. You need the best in the catering business. You just look up Seawells, SeawellsCateringSC.com, or you call them at 803-771-7385. An update on Big Ty Johnson down in Charleston at Lucy Beckham. He's come a long, long way in the recruiting process now. He's a big-time guy. Of course, his dad played at Georgia. Georgia offered him. He has now set an official visit to Georgia. He's very excited about that because his family ties to Georgia, but he also likes South Carolina a lot. Now, his Georgia official visit is June the 12th. And South Carolina's been on him very hard as well, with new offensive line coach Randy Clements making a big push. He said that they told him yesterday, they texted him and told him he's the number one tackle on their board right now. So he said he's on the top of their board. That's a big thing for him. Very excited about the interest he's getting from South Carolina. He says, however, it's too simple just to say it'll be either the Gamecocks or the Tigers because he's hearing from a lot of others. Ohio State has been in touch a couple of times here recently, and they're starting to show some strong interest. West Virginia and Tennessee also just offered him, and he has many other big-time offers. He's got an unofficial to South Carolina March 6th. He'll likely take an official to South Carolina as well, and an unofficial to Georgia March 21st. A rival story reported that Clemson and Tennessee are standing out with offensive lineman Sidney Rouleau of Bullard, Texas. He's out of Canada. Got a spring visit to Clemson March 7th, visit to Tennessee on April the 7th, official visit to Tennessee on June the 12th, also a spring visit to SMU on April 11th. South Carolina target, defensive end Abraham Cisse, projected to Notre Dame by Steve Wiltfong of Rivals, scheduled for an unofficial to South Carolina March 21st. South Carolina target, offensive lineman Ashton Mozone of Midland Valley and Iowa Western Junior College, was offered by Sacramento State. He's in the 26th class. Dutch Fork defensive end Peyton Bishop, official to Mississippi State June 20th. Defensive end Frederick Ards of Orlando, official with South Carolina May 1st. Woodruff running back Aiden Gibson, offered by Wake Forest. Athlete Brooks Dow of Pickens, spring visit to South Carolina March 6th. Also one to Virginia Tech March 24th. Davion Jones, the corner from Charlotte, has Clemson March the 7th, South Carolina March the 28th. Also visits to Auburn, Tennessee, Miami, LSU, Georgia, Texas A&M. And Indiana also remains in the mix with Jones at this point, this being reported by 247 Sports. And in basketball, South Carolina target 6'2" Marty Barnes, committed to Florida State. He's the brother of former USC running back Rocket Sanders, Raheem Sanders. That's it. That's recruiting. Got it in that little tight spot. But that's what we do here on Sports Talk. Squeeze it in where you can, when you can. Now the basketball update, as the scoreboard has been updated. And we can tell you that Charleston Southern leads Winthrop 13-11, and High Point 26, Presbyterian 12, Upstate 15, Radford 13. Going to continue talking basketball, this time high school variety, because we're down to the upper and lower state championships all across the state. Coach John Combs is coming up.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Showers throughout the evening, the low temperature dropping to 55. Tomorrow, heavy rain in the morning before things start to clear out later in the day. The high is 61. The weekend looking great. Saturday, sunshine and 67, while on Sunday, gorgeous. The sunshine-filled sky, 76 degrees. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
What's better than getting the best Wagyu and Hereford beef anywhere in these parts and getting it delivered to your door? How about knowing you're still supporting local farmers in Saluda over at H&J Cattle, where tradition meets quality? Visit HandJCattle.com. Place your order for $50 or more, get free delivery in Richland or Lexington County. Plus, Point listeners get 10% off your order. Enter keyword The Point as one word for your discount. HandJCattle.com.
The Point.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has told members of Congress she had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and didn't recall ever meeting him. Thursday's testimony comes at the start of 2 days of depositions that will include former President Bill Clinton. The depositions are in the Clintons' hometown of Chappaqua, north of New York City. Word from the Cuban government of a deadly encounter between its troops and a boat carrying armed expatriates is casting a spotlight on Cubans living in the U.S. who still harbor aspirations of a counter-revolution 67 years after a guerrilla uprising ushered in communism. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 17 points, the Nasdaq dropped 273, the S&P lower by 37. More details at srnnews.com.
America's radio show with Gene Garris every Sunday night from 6 till 8. Local, live, somewhat punishing, but only on the point.
Are you tired of that sinking feeling when the electric bill arrives? Does the phrase peak hours trigger anxiety and a headache? Do you suffer from chronic fatigue of watching your hard-earned money evaporate right into the power grid? You may be suffering from utility pain and anxiety disorder, or UPAD. Symptoms include sweating when running the AC, a fear of turning on lights, and a general feeling of powerlessness over your energy costs.
It's time for you to try Solaris from Ken at Broker Solar. Broker Solar isn't a temporary fix, but a lasting solution with cutting-edge solar technology designed to address high energy bills at their source. Many clients have experienced immediate relief from high monthly payments with reports of increased home value and greater financial freedom. Imagine a brighter future for your home and your wallet. Side effects include the freedom to use your appliances when you want and a powerful sense of energy independence. Broker Solar, a brighter outlook for your home and wallet. Call us now, 803-807-7417. That's 807-7417 or online at brokersolar.com.
We might not get the wrath of winter they get up north, but we still need something to take that cold edge off. Let Bart Fireside provide your warmth this winter with the comfort and convenience of gas logs. Bart Fireside can beautify existing fireplaces with new gas logs or install a new fireplace. Bring the family together this winter. Bart Fireside is National Fireplace Institute certified. Want more info? Take a look at bartfireside.com or go by the showroom to get some hands-on help. 1131 Broad River Road. Bart Fireside, keeping you warm this winter.
Hey, it's Jay with the Cigar Militia. When I stop by a cigar store, I always look for my go-to cigars and stock up a few of those, but I also look for something I've never tried before. Well, at the Cigar Militia, we specialize in a lot of small boutique cigar manufacturers. Come in and try a Don Kiki by Karen Berger or a Makaji by Ty Williams. We are the Cigar Militia at 1410 Colonial Life Boulevard. Help us out, stock up, and review some of our boutique brands.
Hey, honey, good news for state employees.
Please, not another letter.
True Pharmacy is giving state employees and retirees 10% off over-the-counter items.
You mean like cold meds?
And vitamins, first aid, DME, all of it.
That's a benefit we can actually use.
Plus, even with health insurance changes, True Pharmacy is still serving state employees and retirees in 2026.
That's great. I would never want to leave True Pharmacy. Come see True Pharmacy, our Columbia location at 623 Beltline Boulevard.
What do Scarlett O'Hara, Jaws, and 1984 have in common? They're frequent examples in our story conversation on Right On SC. Join me, Casey Whitener, and my co-host Rex Hurst every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Learn more about the show at rightonsc.blog.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Win. That's what we do here on Sports Talk. All we do is win. Well, look at my teams. Celtics, Packers, Yankees. All we do is win. Of course, Celtics got beat last night, but they were the last game of a 4-game West Coast road trip. They went 3-1.
If this song was made for Phil's teams, it would go, all I do is lose, no matter what.
Let me hear you sing that again.
All Phil's teams do are lose, no matter what.
This coming from Gator Boy.
They have no
All right,
on their
Gator
minds.
Boy. Yeah, coming from Gator Boy. Let's continue talking some basketball. Let's talk high school basketball because we're down to the last 2 weekends of the tournament. The tournament flies by all across the state. I think it's been a great tournament so far. Welcome in Coach John Combs, South Carolina Basketball Coaches Association. coach at Spring Valley High School, athletic director as well at Spring Valley High School. Are you still AD? I lose track of what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I'm just the AD. I've given up the coaching gig right now. AD is all they let me do these days.
That's plenty. That's plenty on your plate in a big district like that. So, well, welcome. Great to have you with us. Hey, before we get into this, I know you're probably watching very closely what's been going on with the legislature and the high school league and the executive committee meeting today. And by the way, one of the items on the agenda today was a discussion about Dr. Jerome Singleton as the director of the South Carolina High School League. No decision was made on that. No action was taken. They have another meeting Monday at 10 a.m. How closely are you following all this?
Oh, very closely, Phil. I mean, this is Dr. Singleton's been the commissioner, I think, over 20 years now. There's a lot of implications that go into this. Now, that being said, I still got a job to do as the AD here at Spring Valley. We've got a big girls soccer tournament going on, so we got to take care of business there. But no, I'm heavily invested in what is transpiring.
So I'll ask you your opinion if you want to share it. Do you believe that the state legislature needs to get involved with the high school league, and as they have been threatening to dissolve it and come up with another form of overseeing high school athletics in our state?
Phil, the short answer is no. I don't believe the state legislature. I don't like what they've proposed. The bill that I saw, it does away with representation on the executive committee board from the Coaches Association. That's something I'm a big fan of. I think that we should have representation there. I'm really concerned from my colleagues that I've talked to in Florida and North Carolina, where their state legislatures kind of taken over and decided to disband their version of the high school league. I haven't heard good things from my colleagues in those states. And I get a little nervous when we're talking about some of these executive committee members are going to be political appointees. Mm-hmm. Now, there may be political appointees that are coaches, and the devil's in the details, so to speak, in a lot of this stuff. But I'm not in favor of disbanding the South Carolina High School League.
From your colleagues in Florida and North Carolina you've talked to, what have they said are their biggest concerns about what has transpired under the new arrangement they have there? What do they dislike the most?
Well, probably the most honest and blunt answer is, in some cases I've heard where whoever is the loudest person and maybe has the best connections with certain politicians, they kind of get certain things that they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When it comes to eligibility and who can play and who can't. That's one of the biggest concerns that I've heard. And I've heard the words train wreck thrown around. That might be a little strong, but you could definitely tell that they're not real thrilled with how it happened.
All right, let's turn our attention to the hardwood, because that's where your love is, I know, along with all the other sports. So let's go to 5A Division I boys. We'll start up there and work our way down. In the upper state, it's going to be at Rock Hill High School on Saturday. You've got Ridgeview and Burns. In the lower state, and all the lower state games are at the Florence Center, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, Florence Center once again hosting all the lower state finals. So 5A D1 boys, that'll be Cane Bay and Ashley Ridge. What do you think of those matchups?
Well, I'll tell you what, this Cane Bay and Ashley Ridge is probably the matchup that didn't go according to plan. I mean, I think a lot of people thought West Ashley might come out of there, but Cane Bay's played well, beat West Ashley by 1 point in that third round playoff game. Ashley Ridge is really good as well, but they upset Carolina Forest, who was the number 2 overall seed. But Ashley Ridge is a good, solid team. I kind of going to give the edge to Cane Bay over Ashley Ridge in that game, but would not surprise me to see Ashley Ridge pull it out.
Okay. How about Burns and Ridgeview?
I tell you what, this is not fair, but I think some people would say this is I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, maybe a de facto state championship game. Whoever wins this one, they're going to be the favorite in 5A Division I. Burns is led by Colt Fowler, who's the son of Lane Fowler, who you've had on the show before. Colt Fowler is our 5A Player of the Year. But Ridgeview, probably considered the best team in 5A Division I for much of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how does a guy like Colt Fowler, who he accounts for over 50 points a game with 20-something points he averages, and then he's averaging over, I think, 10, 11 assists a game. He's just a lot of fun to watch, and to see that game at a high school venue, I think is going to be a tremendous atmosphere. And it's going to be really close, but it'll be hard for me to pick against Ridgeview in that game.
All right, very good. Ridgeview beat Dorman to get to this point the other night, and Burns defeated Dutch Fork to get there as well. All right, let's take a look at the boys 5A Division II. Upper-Lower State Finals, Upper State at Wofford on Friday. Tomorrow night, Wofford, 7:30, Riverside and Greenville. And on the other side at the Florence Center, Friday, Goose Creek and Westwood. What do you think?
I love both of these matchups. I mean, these are all four of those teams have probably been our top and been in the top five pretty much all year long. Goose Creek is going against my old school. I coached at Westwood, and I expected that to be a really, really good game. Westwood has two all-state players. Goose Creek has an all-state player. Goose Creek played in the state championship last year. So it's going to be really fascinating to watch that game. I mean, Goose Creek is head coach. It does a really good job. And Westwood's head coach was a former player of mine at Ridgeview and former assistant at Westwood. Trent Robinson does a great job. So I tell you what, that could be a pick 'em, but I'm certainly going to be pulling for the Red Hawks in that game.
Mm-hmm.
In the Upper State, I love the fact they're going to play at Wofford. I think that's fantastic. I'm glad Wofford's arena, which I think is one of the best basketball venues in all the state. It's just it's lower level college, but it is a fantastic.
Let's see here. Where's the boys 4A bracket? Waiting for it to open up here for me. Okay. All right, there we go. Took it a second to pop up, but here we go. In the Upper State, playing at Rock Hill High School on Saturday, it's South Point and Lancaster. And we've got Lower State, North Augusta, and Bluffton. What do you see?
Phones just went out, Phil. Working on that now.
The phones just went. No wonder I couldn't get it to pull up. I think the internet must have popped on us.
I'm not sure. Internet's still working for me, but our phones are out, so I'm working on that.
Okay. You want to go to the break while we do this? Why don't we go to the break? We'll get the phones reconnected, get Coach Combs back on with us. And so we're talking about the 4A boys. We'll get back with him on that. South Point, Lancaster, and North Augusta, and Bluffton. Okay. And we'll update the college scoreboard for you as well when we come back from the break. So stay with us. We'll get reconnected with Coach and continue to look over these pairings, Upper Lower State Finals, high school basketball tournament, back in just a moment.
This is Major Billy Downer with the Department of Natural Resources, and I've got a message for all of our hunters out there. When you go afield, always make sure to positively identify your target. Know the identifying features of the game you're hunting, and know what's beyond your target in case you miss. If you want more information on hunter education, visit dnr.sc.gov or join us on Wednesday nights for SC Wild.
You can listen to SC Wild on the Sports Talk Media Network or at dnr.sc.gov/podcasts.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. all backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
You've put in the work for your education. The extra early, extra late, extra work. That's because you understand education opens doors to better pay, better opportunities, and a better you. Being educated about playing the lottery is no different. It helps you be a better player, one who knows when to play and when to take a rain check. The lottery's a game, so let's keep it fun. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
If you missed the home equity line of credit offer from Founders Federal Credit Union, we have good news. The offer has been extended, but don't wait. You only have until February 28th to get up to $750 toward closing costs when you open a Founders HELOC. That's more in your pocket for home improvements, debt consolidation, major purchases, unexpected expenses, or a much-needed vacation. The possibilities are endless. Imagine starting a new year with financial flexibility and peace of mind. But hurry, this special offer ends February 28th. Save more and jumpstart your year. Plus, you'll enjoy competitive rates and flexible terms designed to fit your budget. Visit foundersfcu.com/HELOC for more information. Membership qualification required. Institution NMLS. Identifier number 410646. Equal housing lender. See website for details.
Now I'm going round, going round, going round, going round. One more time. Said I'm going round. Watch me now.
All right, a little hiccup with the internet there, but we do have Coach back with us. Coach, are you there, sir?
I'm absolutely here. I thought the action was so hot, and we're talking about good basketball. We blew up the internet.
Yes, you did. All right, let's pick up our pace. I want to get everybody in. So we were interrupted talking about 4A boys. So it's going to be at Rock Hill, South Point, and Lancaster. Place is going to be packed, no doubt about it. What do you think? That's the upper state and the lower state, North Augusta, and Bluffton.
And once again, this is fascinating for me as well. South Point, of course, led by Coach Melvin Watson, just does a great job there. And so does Lancaster. Coach Coughlin, they won the state championship last year. He is one of the best coaches that probably doesn't get enough credit. I'm always going to pull from my guy Melvin at South Point, but I tell you what, you're right. That place is going to be packed. It's going to be rowdy. That's going to be a good game to me. That's a pick 'em. We can go anywhere on that one. Now, in the lower state, North Augusta had a big, I called a big upset, over Great Collegiate. A little bit of a surprise there, I think, for some people. But Coach Tony Harrell, North Augusta, it's one of those there was the old adage, hard to beat a team 3 times. Well, Great Collegiate wasn't able to do that then, but North Augusta was able to go into Great Collegiate and pick up a huge win there. So the reward is getting to play Bluffton. Bluffton's the number 2 seed down there in the lower state. I think that is going to be a tremendous battle. Kind of like North Augusta in that, but Bluffton's playing really good right now.
Great point. That's a great win to go in and beat Great Collegiate. That's not easy to do. Go to 3A boys, upper state. Finals will be at Hillcrest, and you've got Christ Church and Mountain View Prep. And the lower state, there's old Keenan once again. Keenan and Fox Creek. What you got here?
Well, Christ Church has been at the top of our 3A boys all year long, so it'd be hard for me to pick against them. Coach John Butler's been there for a while now. Mountain View Prep, kind of one of the new kids on the block, so to speak. But I'm sure they're not going to be intimidated. They've been playing real well, beat St. Joseph solidly. But I've got to give the edge to Christ Church there. And then Keenan and Fox Creek, that is just going to be a battle. They've been competing. They've already battled against each other. That's one that's going to be fascinating to see there in the Florence Civic Center. Keenan's been there number of times. Fox Creek, they're not scared. It will be interesting to see who wins that one.
Okay, let's go to the 2A boys. Upper state, it's going to be at Mid-Carolina High School on Friday, and it's High Point. Talked about them before, and American Leadership. That's your upper state. Lower state, Mullins and Philip Simmons. What about these?
I tell you what, High Point Academy's been right there all year long too. American Leadership is coached by Tyson Balknight, played for Coach Bailey Harris at Lexington. These are, this doesn't surprise me, this matchup here. American Leadership's been playing really good, but High Point, they've been there all year long. I think you got to favor High Point Academy in this one a little bit. And in the lower state, Mullins and Philip Simmons. Philip Simmons, I don't think they've advanced this far in the playoffs before. So to go against Mullins, who's been a mainstay in basketball playoffs before, that would be a good matchup for them. I would say that's a pick 'em as well. Both of them have been very competitive, but not blowing out teams in each of their playoff games.
All right, 1A on Saturday at Batesburg-Leesville. C.A. Johnson and Horse Creek. And in the lower state, Bethune-Bowman and Carvers Bay. Carvers Bay took down my boys Latta, beat them 3 times this season, so they're obviously very good. And here's Horse Creek. Welcome Horse Creek to the upper state finals.
Yeah, Horse Creek, from the Aiken-ish area down there, one of their charter schools down there. C.A. Johnson's played a brutal schedule. I mean, they were not afraid to play anybody, but Horse Creek has been really, really good all year long. They kind of slipped past Hunter Tyler, so I would say C.A. Johnson's probably the favorite in that one. Then in the lower state, when you got Bethune-Bowman and Carvers Bay coach Jeff Mezzatest has been there a long time. Does a really good job, works hard for his kids, but man, Bethune-Bowman's really talented as well. I'm going to be pulling for Carvers Bay, but Bethune-Bowman's going to give them a lot.
All right, Coach, let's go to the girls, and let's pick it up a little bit so we can get them all in. Okay. So tomorrow night at Newberry High School, Blythewood and Malden, Upper State, Lower State. Saturday, Lower State, Wando and Lexington. What do you see?
I say Lexington's got to be the favorite there, but Wando's going to compete. Blythewood, I got to go with them. They're in our district. They're the defending state champions, but Malden's going to give them a heck of a game.
You don't dare pick against anybody in your district, huh?
Oh, I would. I mean, if it was clear, I certainly would, but I like Blythewood's tough, but so is Malden, so we'll see.
Okay. Let's go to Division II 5A girls at Wofford. On Saturday, it's Greenville and Gaffney. And on Friday in Florence, it's Goose Creek and Berkeley.
Goose Creek and Berkeley, I mean, those are 2 of the best teams down there. Berkeley won the state championship last year, but Goose Creek is playing really good. I'm going to give the edge to Goose Creek there, but Berkeley might have something to say about that. Greenville's playing great right now, and so I'm going to favor them over Gaffney.
All right, 4A girls at Gaffney. It's weird. You got Gaffney playing somewhere else, but at Gaffney tomorrow it'll be West Side and South Point, Upper State, and then Lower State tomorrow, North Augusta and South Florence.
Once again, I mean, you're talking about a bunch of powerhouses right here. North Augusta just keeps rolling. South Florence is good, but North Augusta, I think, is just going to be too much for them. West Side and South Point, fantastic game. Both of them are really, really good. I think South Point can give them a little bit of the edge, but Coach Jackie Roberts of West Side is going to do a great job.
Okay, go to 3A now at Powdersville on Saturday. It'll be St. Joseph's and Walhalla. In Florence on Saturday, Oceanside Collegiate against Keenan.
Yep. Well, Keenan's been there time and time again. Coach Reggie McLean, I'm going to give him the edge, but Oceanside is really good as well. St. Joseph's and Walhalla. Walhalla is the defending state champions, but St. Joseph's had a heck of a year. I got to give the edge to the experience who won a state championship last year in Walhalla.
All right, let's go to 2A at Clover High School on Saturday. It'll be Andrew Jackson against Landrum, and at Florence on Saturday, Atlantic Collegiate against Timberland. What do you got?
Andrew Jackson's really, really good. So is Landrum. They've played a really good year, but Andrew Jackson's been near the top the whole year. It's got to go with them. Atlantic Collegiate, Timberland. Atlantic Collegiate's been kind of just marching their way through the playoffs, so I'm going to go with Atlantic Collegiate in that one.
All right, takes us to the last bracket. That's the 1A girls. And tomorrow at North Central High School, you've got Lee Central and Great Falls in the upper state. In the lower state, in Florence, the Machine, Military Magnet, against my teeny weeny, the little engine that could, Latta Lady Vikings. A lot of Lady Vikings and Military Magnet. Military Magnet has demolished everything in its path. Tell me there's hope. Tell me there's a reason to believe.
No, I can't do this one, Phil. I mean, when it said all you do is your teams win. No, I can't. It would be a heck of a story if they did on this one. I mean, Latta's obviously had a great run to get it to this far in the playoffs. I think that might be a little too much for them to beat Military Magnet. And then, Leaf Central and Great Falls in the other bracket. That's going to be a great matchup between two teams, and I'm glad. And I love it. It's going to be at North Central High School. It is going to be a great atmosphere in that gym. It's not going to be in the big, the big arena.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good atmosphere. Good time for high school basketball this weekend.
Well, I'll tell you, Military Magnet, they gave up 4 points in their first playoff game, 10 in their second, and then 39. They still won by 30 over Bethune-Bowman in the third game. So maybe, Latta looks at that and says, maybe there's a chance. What makes Military Magnet so doggone good?
I will say I'll put a lot on the coach here. Coach Nathan Taylor works really, really hard, and they've been good for a while. When you breed some success, that attracts more success. More people want to come down there. And when you take a lot of pride in your program, like Coach Taylor does, he's able to bring people in. Kids come. Parents are more transient than they've ever been. So they'll take their kids to places and programs where they think their kid will have the best chance of success. And Coach Taylor works really hard. He's a part of our board with the Coaches Association. So not only does he work hard for his kids, he is an advocate for all girls basketball in South Carolina, and I love it.
All right. That is the rundown. And, Coach, it's going to be a great couple of days of high school basketball. We'll get with you next Thursday to take a look at those championship games. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Phil. Laurie, looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach John Combs. Appreciate that. Great stuff from him. Great insight as to the pairings, upper and lower state finals. PGA Tour has moved to Florida, the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. So we finally got the tour here on the East Coast. Austin Smotherman at 9 under par. He has the lead. As far as the locals, we have Carson Young at 1 under after a 70, and he's really the only one. Mac Meisner, who I think lives in the Hilton Head area. Is that why we have him on here? Plus 272 for him. This is not a tournament that's attracted a whole bunch of big names, I would say, as I scroll through the leaderboard. Don't forget, tomorrow night we'll have Birdies and Bogeys with George Bryan, and Smitty will be sitting in for that. I'll be away at the baseball game after the first hour tomorrow night. So Smitty will be with us. I'll be over at Founders Park broadcasting from there for the first hour, then cutting away to go cover the baseball game. And we'll have our regular lineup of great stuff for you on Friday night. And let's see, update the basketball. Charleston Southern 31, Winthrop 24. Be a heck of a win for Choso if they hang on. That's just in the first half. High Point 43, Presbyterian 33. That's almost at halftime. Upstate leading Radford 15-13. That's in the first half. And the College of Charleston beat Hampton 85-71. That'll do it. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, Plumber, for just being the plumber. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.